So I'm making some buttered pecan shortbreads today, and what we need to do is I've got to dice up these pecans and we're going to toast them. I'm going to toast them at 350 for 5-8 minutes thereabouts. They don't take too long. You got to kind of keep an eye on so they don't burn. So we'll get these chopped up and we'll get some toasted. You're going to want 3 cups of pecans, and I'll get to work chopping. You want these chopped fairly finely. And yes, I could put them in the food processor, but you know what? This is good for frustrations. And I actually prefer to chop it by hand. Yeah, they may not be as evenly chopped, but it's handmade, homemade. So the pecans are all chopped. They're going to go in the oven and get toasted. We'll check them about 5 minutes. We'll stir them up a bit and see if they're done. These are pecans that my sister sent me from Florida, so thank you, Pat, if you see this video. They're greatly appreciated. I'm sure they'll be tasty. So this is what they should look like. I took them out at 5 minutes, stirred them up, put them back in. They weren't quite toasted. I pulled them out after another minute, stirred them up, and again, so they baked a total of 8 minutes to get mine toasted. They should be just lightly toasted. They should be fragrant. You should be able to smell them. You just don't want them to burn. And now you're going to set them aside until they are completely cooled, which will take a little bit, and then we'll start work on the cookie. So you want to beat that for about 2 minutes, and every once in a while you want to scrape down the sides. You want it nice and light and fluffy. And then we're going to add 1 1/4 cups of sugar, a tablespoon of vanilla, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt, and then we'll beat that all together. Already. So you'll want to stop every once in a while and scrape down the sides. You want a nice light fluffy mixture, and when that is all beat together, we're going to add in the 4 cups of flour, and when the pecans are cold enough we'll put them in, and then we'll shape it into logs and we'll put it into the freezer to chill for a bit. Needs to set for about 2 hours so that the logs get firm enough to cut them into. So the easiest way is to add about half the flour. I put in 2 cups. Start it slow so that you don't have flour go everywhere, and then we'll gradually add in the other 2 cups. And that's the end of the other 2 cups, so we'll let that mix in. So I'm just scraping it down, and we'll blend it once more, and then if my pecans are cool enough we'll add them. If not, we'll stick this in the fridge just until the pecans are cool. So you'll want to add your 3 cups of pecans, toasted pecans, and we'll mix them in, and then we'll shape it up to get it cool. everything scraped off my spatula, and we'll get those pecans mixed in here. So you're going to take about half of your cookie dough and put it on your plastic wrap. And we're going to kind of shape this into a log. Flatten it down first and shape it more into a log shape. Use your plastic wrap to help you a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's homemade. And then we're going to wrap this in the plastic wrap and put it in the freezer for about 2 hours until the log is firm. And then we're going to do a slice and bake. And we'll do the same thing with the rest of the other half. Okay, so we've got the oven preheating to 350, and you're going to cut them into about 1/4 inch slices like this, and they shouldn't spread too much, so you'll be able to put them fairly close together. It's not a round log, but hey, whatever works. And then we're going to bake them for about 15 minutes, it says, so I'll start checking about 12. Mine were in the freezer for about a little over an hour and a half, and they're pretty solid, so you can keep an eye on the dough. You can freeze these for longer. You can freeze them for up to 6 months if you wrap them well and put them in a baggie, and then you can have cookies whenever you want. This is log number 1, and then we'll slice log number 2. And they're ready to go in the oven. I'll check them about 12 minutes, but I'm sure they're going to take a little bit longer than that. So these are after 15 minutes. They should be just slightly firm to the touch. They're not quite brown on the bottom, but they are done. I did turn the sheet around, rotate it around front to back at the halfway point. Some are a little larger than others, so they baked a little bit longer. We'll get them on the cooling rack and let them cool off, but they're looking mighty tasty.
And this is what they look like when they come out. Really good.